socialist utopia.
Because when it comes to investment, they have no other choice. Their stock market has been notoriously volatile, and whilst the global economy has rocketed past pre-pandemic levels and has beaten almost all previous highs, China hasn't even reclaimed their 2008 pre-GFC
These
highs.
are all lies, man.
So when you're saying that China has 10 years to go,
At most.
what do you mean by that?
They don't have the young people to go consumption-led. They're completely dependent on the U.S. Navy to access international trade. They are the most vulnerable country in the world right now. And based on how things go with Russia, we're looking at a significant amount of raw materials falling off the map, specifically food and energy. And the Chinese are the world's largest importer of both of those things. So there's no version of this where China comes through looking good. And the challenge for the rest of us is to figure out how do we, in as smooth and quick as a process as possible, figure out how we can get along without them. Because they are going away. And they're going away this decade for certain.
Well, if you say they're going away, clearly they're not just going to lay down. They're
No, they'll
going to
die.
try to adjust.
Yeah, they'll die.
Right? But
Very ugly for the Chinese. And you get a deindustrialization collapse and a famine that kills 500 million people in under a year. And the Chinese know this. They can only push so hard. They're still food importers. They're still dependent on the United States. They're still energy importers.
and what is their plan?
The Chinese?
Yeah, do we have any idea of what their plan to get out of this is?
You try to cut a deal with a country that can help you out, but the only country that could do that is the United States. And the sort of strategic surrender that the Americans would require.
The skyscrapers are empty, the streets are without traffic, and chilling silence emanates throughout the area. These are the scenes of China's ghost cities. These streets resemble abandoned or evacuated cities from a zombie or nuclear apocalypse movie. The whole city feels like a post-apocalyptic space station straight out of a science fiction movie. The whole city is one big investment plan gone wrong. The combination of high taxes and poor construction meant that still nobody wanted to live there. And this is a nationwide problem. In China, there are 65 million empty units, which is enough to house the entire population of France. These empty units could even home at least 25% of its homeless population of 300 million.
America and China are separated by the Pacific Ocean. One
This is
shaped by
propaganda,
freewheeling
man.
capitalism characterized by a market-driven economy and democratic governance. The other ruled by an authoritarian communist party which maintains tight control over the state's economic and political life. Both are the world's largest economies, but one is surging while the other is stumbling. A number of structural weaknesses have been dragging down China's prospects. Optimism is dimming among Chinese youth. The Chinese stock market is tanking, and foreign direct investment is in free fall as global businesses seek alternatives. Meanwhile, the US is doing really well, with the most dynamic economy and the fastest growth in the G7, a group of the 7 biggest advanced economies. Inflation is down, while jobs, real wages, and productivity are going up. It's impressive how the US has not only maintained, but also extended its dominance over other developed countries. In 1990, America made up 40% of the G7's nominal GDP. Today, it makes up 58%. In terms of purchasing power parity, PPP, the increase is smaller but still significant, going from 43% of the G7's GDP in 1990 to 51% now. America's outperformance has translated into wealth for its people. In PPP terms, income per person in America was 24% higher than in Western Europe in 1990. Today, it is about 30% higher. It was 17% higher than Japan in 1990. Today, it is 54% higher. Compared to China, it is 241% higher. America's economy has grown by about 8% in real terms. During that same time, China's economic growth is slowing, from 8% annually a decade ago to a new normal of just over 4% annually, predicted by the end of this decade. These aren't the only red flags pointing to China's economy slowing down. There are more. China is suffering a double whammy of weak demand at home and abroad. Both exports and imports have fallen sharply since 2021. Adding to the dismal economic mood,
Look at the
people have
difference,
borrowed
man.
less money, marking the lowest reading since late 2009.
So in this video, we're going to take yet another look at China's economic crisis. All the elements of China's wider economic crisis interact with this fact. The deflationary crisis, for example, is in part because Chinese consumers just don't have enough disposable income. The property crisis has been partly caused by the fact that Chinese households don't have enough money, so have to take out massive and apparently unsustainable mortgages. Similarly, China's youth unemployment rate, which the CCP actually stopped publishing data about because it got so bad, is in part a story about educational inflation. But it's also because China's domestic economy doesn't have the strength to create enough jobs. After months of stubbornly refusing to change course despite some pretty bad data, late last month the CCP finally caved. In the immediate aftermath, Chinese stocks slumped, with the CSI falling by about 6% and the Seng Index falling by nearly 10%. And other data in the past few weeks have looked equally gloomy. In late September, for instance, data was published showing industrial profits down 17% year on year, and Chinese consumer confidence has continued to plummet. This means that Beijing knew, and still knows, that the deflationary crisis is worse than expected.
These are all lies, man. I had to see the military, so... so much light in China. Technologically advanced. Just look how beautiful China looks, man. Well planned. Great constructions. Great architecture.
This man disappears after swimming in this cave, but 3 years later the police find him. And what he has become will terrify you. Mark loved diving, but what he didn't know was that his passion would turn his life into a real nightmare. At first, Mark only swam in protected areas, but one day, he decided to explore a cave that was off limits to the public. His friends warned him about the dangers, but Mark was determined to go anyway. That decision was a huge mistake. Mark dove in, but he never came back to the surface. After a few days, he still hadn't returned home, and his car was still parked in the same spot. The police then began searching for him, but his body was nowhere to be found. But one day, Mark's parents received a call from the police. They had found Mark, but he wasn't the same man anymore. He had become terrifying, and what he claimed to have experienced in that cave was just horrifying. Tap the plus and comment dive if you want part 2.
We want to know.
This point is to teach you that you don't always have to lower your prices to get clients. You're going to get clients who really do not care about customer service, who don't care about a lot of things. But in hindsight, they actually do, and they will make your life a living hell. Cheap customers are high maintenance, okay? They are very impatient and can actually be very demanding. Somebody who is willing to cough out their good money because they understand the value within whatever it is that you're offering are willing to be a bit more patient. So be careful with people who constantly want you to discount, with people who want to buy cheap things from you. And just also as you start a business, being cheap is not the only way to get in the market. There's a lot of ways you can get in the market. And one of them is really just showcase your value. Showcase your value so long, for such a consistent period of time, for people to really know and begin to trust you, and they will eventually buy from you. So
this makes sense.
Yeah, it really does take a lot of effort to sustain a cheap client. Don't do that. I wouldn't advise you to. If you're already there, there's a lot of strategies, and we filmed a couple of videos on this channel that will help you get out of that trap.
Saudi Arabia has proven to us that the Bible is true. Saudi Arabia has now allowed people to go and take pictures of the actual Mount Sinai, where Moses was given the 10 Commandments by God himself. This is the actual picture of the mountain, and next to it, this particular rock caught the eye of tourists. It has engravings of people worshiping cows, which is exactly what happened when Moses came down from the mountain to find God's people worshiping a golden cow. But that's not even the crazy part. The largest rock on the mountain is this rock, which split in half. And according to the Bible, God ordered Moses to strike a rock to make water flow from it, which is why this rock is perfectly and almost entirely split in two. If you believe God is real, subscribe now and we'll keep learning together.
Scientists have recently discovered that the flood from the Bible is in fact real. Scientists have found fossils of fish on top of the Himalayan mountains. Even for the unbelieving scientists, they said this proves that at one point the whole earth was covered in water, thus proving what the scriptures say. If you want to know more about how the Bible is alive and being proven daily by what we're finding through science, follow and subscribe for more.
How can an egg reveal the location of a nuclear submarine? The U.S. Navy's nuclear submarines are some of the most advanced machines in the world, designed to stay hidden underwater for months at a time. But a sub needs enough food to feed their crew for up to 90 days, including hundreds of eggs. But these eggs can come with huge risks that are almost unbelievable. Submarine kitchens work non-stop to prepare meals for over 100 crew members. When eggs spoil, they're discarded just like other food waste. However, if rotten eggs are thrown away uncracked, they can implode when compacted, creating a noise loud enough to be detected by sonar. And once the sub is detected, its location will be revealed to enemy forces nearby.
You're telling me Jesus Christ was from the lands beyond the ice wall, that he was Richard Constantine's firstborn son.
Exactly what I'm telling you. Like I said, after the Constantines discovered and conquered these 7 unpopulated continents within the wall, Richard knew for the doctrine